Recording is for my own safety, of course. Down here and to the right is the camp of the guy who gave me a soda pop full of methamphetamines. And I called Adult Protective Services, and they, of course, encouraged me to continue to try to turn it in. They also encouraged me to go to the Dalles. But the problem is, if I go to the Dalles, I'm using up resources that I may not get back. I've already expended a lot of resources that I can't get back because they didn't pan out, because these people didn't stop and actually listen to understand. First of all, they needed to listen. Second of all, they needed to look. If you can't listen to the victim and won't look at the evidence, how the hell are you supposed to help anybody? If you're gonna refuse to listen and instead talk over them, and then you're gonna tell them how to think and how to feel and tell them that turning it in isn't gonna work, how the fuck would you know? You didn't even try. Meanwhile, there are literally dozens of my predators who have been locked up because, unlike me, some of the other victims actually had real help. People who actually cared about them, not people who blew smoke up their ass, gave empty promises, and didn't follow through. I don't have to forgive anybody. I'm not obligated to forgive anybody. And you know, even the Jesus, he don't forgive you unless you ask him. Of course, if you want to pretend like you didn't do anything wrong, that again is a choice. And it's the wrong choice. That ain't what the Bible tells you to do. So those of you who want to try misquoting scripture at me, as you're used to do evil shit, well, just remember, I've read the book. I've probably read it more times than you. The old trail right there goes into that camp right there. You can't see it this late at night, but there's some video footage I took of it earlier today. I have been taking my clandestine audio device everywhere and talking to all the people that I possibly can. Try to find out what I can about the situation and what this guy's name is. Of course, I gotta do so without walking into a situation where it'll potentially be a 4-on-1 or more. Yeah, you goddamn right I fight for others. You goddamn right I fight for myself. There's also a park down here that I saw that I could possibly and potentially use. Oh, that's cool. There's a metal bar over here too. Oh. Well, I suppose I could take that and relieve this area of some more man-made crap. And this might actually help me get the other man-made crap I'm after. I thought it was over here. Maybe somebody picked it up already, I don't know. It's a set of wheels. Is this it? I think this is it. Let's hope there ain't no critters underneath it to bite me. And thank goodness this is just, well, I guess it's got some barbed wire on it. Oh yeah, this is the wheels I'm after. This is exactly it. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Anyway, we ain't run into the person we're trying to catch, so I guess back into the main drag in town to well, put the shit in my vehicle, I guess. Also, I saw Logan. Looks as if he got himself a van, which is really cool. It's a minivan, but hell, it's better than nothing. Anyway, I'm gonna walk through this way, I guess, just in case. He might have gone down to. Ooh, what's that? Oh, bingo. Cool. All right. Anyway, we got a little bit of garbage picked up. We got some industrial junk that people left picked up. Got those wheels picked up. And went by that camp, so decent start. Oh, that's not who I thought it was. There's a gentleman over there sitting talking on his phone. He waved at me, so I took a look to see if it was somebody I know. I think it's just somebody being friendly. Wow. I forgot how much having a cane relieves the walking pressure. Although the grinding feeling when I'm putting it to the ground kind of sucks. I think I got 5 or 6 stoppers though that I can attach to it. Not all at once, obviously, just they're all various sizes. All right. So the guy from Adult Protective Services in the Dalles, I gotta try to sit down with the computer and go through it and write down the names of all the people I talked to and all that shit. Like, here's the thing, is that I got stuff that is backlogged from 6 goddamn years ago that I needed help turning in. Without help, I can't turn anything in. With all these services that are supposed to help us not helping, because of course it's just me. I got all these other homeless people that want to say, hey man, you got a disability, so you think you'd help me get my disability? I say, well, you need somebody to go in with you. I'm willing to go in with you. Oh no, that'll never work. No, that's literally the only thing that does work. So yeah, maybe you should listen. If you're a disabled homeless person, especially a disabled homeless male, you need someone to go in with you or you are screwed. That's as simple as it is. How was all that? More garbage? Yep, more garbage. Anyway, oh, the gasoline truck. We're gonna go up over the bridge, all big and fancy like, and it'll be just a few blocks into town. Oh, there's that fella. He apparently hasn't made it out of town yet. All right. He's at least a happy drunk. Alright, apparently I had connection issues. It reconnected though. Hola! What? I don't have a home, but my car's parked right in town. I'm heading there now. What? Oh, I'm better than I was. I saw you yesterday too. Do what? Anyway, I'm gonna, I guess, continue what I'm doing. So there's a little pathway right up here, and we'll take that pathway. Try to avoid people like the plague, because of course people are stupid. He's within about, I don't know, 100 foot of the gas station right there. Of course you can't see it because it's dark. Still breathing. How you doing?
It's a very rudimentary tool, but it could be used for a lot of things. You could fish with it. I mean, you could view it as a jailhouse shank if you want, but it can always be used for something.
It can. Is that a bunch of lanyard on it?
Yeah, I took a piece of cloth and I tried to wrap it as tight as I could, just for handle.
That'll work.
It's pretty sturdy. I tied it pretty tight.
I found this on the way here. It was over by the bike trail, so I figured I'd grab it, keep anybody from dying, getting it stuck in their spoke.
It's like an
Just
iron rod?
it's a piece of electrical conduit.
I do that shit even when I walk on the highway, but last time I walked on the highway, I avoided it. But if I see like screws, nails, something
Yep, anything that'd go through the tire.
Kick it aside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I've had enough stuff go into my tire that if I see it, I don't want that happening to nobody
I
else.
left the lighter over there. I was like burning it and shit. Yeah, I tried to make a little bit of a handle of it. It's never a thing of mine, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, I found the thing earlier and I was like, dude, it'd be perfect. You go fishing with that shit, man. Tie that shit on a fucking end of a stick somewhere.
Yeah.
I was only sucker fish that I seen come on like close to the. So you can get in there if you're calm and still enough, dude. You can probably get some if you needed it. You know?
I've been fishing in Colorado and fishing in Washington State. I'm pretty sure they got some similar salmon in the area.
Dude, I've seen pictures of them, dude. They were like back in the day, they were fucking huge, man. They were bigger than the fucking people, you know.
Some of them still are. They got I got an uncle that worked at a fishery in Alaska, and he was saying, most of the time they'd get just your average size salmon, but once in a while there's one that it doesn't have that thing in its brain. It's born without the part of its brain that tells it to go back in and upriver. So sometimes they end up with like 800-900 pound salmon.
That's what's up.
It's insane.
I don't know how that shit really works though, but that shit's delicious as fuck. I actually had some this morning. I'm gonna tell you where I got it from. I got it out of the dumpster at the hotel, and I put it in a fucking oodles and noodles. It was perfectly good fucking salmon that somebody threw the fuck away. I gave it was like a wedding dinner type thing. I don't know if it was pot roast or whatever. I gave the dude to get to his dog. It's fucking really good to grill stuff though. I don't know why we're so wasteful sometimes. And I'm just as guilty as anybody else. You know?
I try not to be wasteful. Of course, I'm lucky I got a vehicle. There's a guy that came this direction that I was trying to find. His name's Logan. He got a new van and he drove by and honked at me and waved at me and
What is your
yelled at
name,
me.
sir?
Sean,
You're not filming me right now, Sean, are you?
I can't. It's too dark.
It doesn't matter. It's like everybody's got a camera and be like, yo, at least let me
Well,
know.
we got out on the street, you
That's what
know.
everybody's doing nowadays. I don't blame you though. If I had a GoPro, I'd wear a fucking body cam like a cop does, like that ass.
Well, see, that's what I try to do. But
I'm
the
not,
thing is,
I
all
don't
right,
want to
like
do
at
it. I don't want
nighttime,
to be a follower, but like just even seeing myself on camera, how ridiculous I can be, it's funny as fuck to see. Like, it's funny as fuck.
well, on a night like this, especially with the resolution on my camera, yeah, it won't pick up shit. If you stood underneath the Sinclair sign, I could record you, but other than that, it'd only do
The
audio.
laws are fucked up and shit. Like it says in, like, say in Washington, like you're not. They have all these weird laws, but they're all transgressing it and they're all doing the same shit. This is fucking coming from the top of the country with the fucking Democrats and Republicans each trying to fuck each other. They are both fucking dirty as fuck. Everybody's just be like, you know, be like, oh, I'm gonna impeach you. Be like, I think we should do a game show where you do the lie detector test. If you don't do the lie detector test, you go in the octagon. There would be way better ways we can operate this country instead of all this fucking dragging it out like.
Yeah, we could have a cat and we could give it 2 buttons and both of them will feed it. And whichever one the cat picks, we just go with that.
Yeah, whatever the case, something like that, you know.
Red button or the blue button, kitty.
Bring back the Coliseum, feed people to the lions, you know, put a couple different animals in a fucking rat, whatever the case may be.
That's a little creepy, but
This is what our ancestors did.
they
All the
did
shit they did
indeed.
was creepy. They had the gymnasium, and that's why, like, all that shit's weird as fuck. One guy starts in doggy style, and the other guy's on top of him.
Oh,
That's fucking weird.
that is how Greco-Roman wrestling starts. You're
That's how they
right.
start. Why don't they start on their feet? Or that's after the fact, or I don't know how any of that shit works, but.
Well, I know the
You don't
Coliseum.
like it when you do WWF when a dude picks him up, and the dude from the neighbor, he like slammed dude. He was illegal. He picked him up and fucking. I thought it was cool as fuck. He just dumped him because he could, but he like supposedly you can't do that. You know.
Well, the Coliseum was actually named the Flavian Amphitheater when it was first made, but there was the colossal statue that was outside of it when the Catholic Church took it over.
Yeah.
So they actually renamed it the Coliseum because of the statue that used to be outside of it.
You talking about the
The
there
Colosseum in
was,
Rome.
there was a statue. Well, there was a Colossus statue.
There's also the Colossus of Rhodes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
one
I'm
of the
familiar
7
with.
wonders of the world.
It's pretty fascinating how it perpetuates itself.
Well, the Colossus that was outside of there, they believed it might have been one that was made of the Emperor Nero. Obviously not as
You know,
Nero,
like
but
the skin in his bones or what?
no, it was a bronze statue that he had made in his image. But apparently he was kind of a slovenly feller, and the statue itself was a very muscle-bound, classic Greek god-looking feller.
That's what they say. A lot of that shit they. It's like who writes history? Like how do they want?
Bless
How do they
you.
want to make it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean the falsities and all that. I mean, yeah, it might make somebody think something else, but.
Well, there's a couple of fellers out here. I don't know how you feel about the situation. Some people feel free drugs are free drugs, but
Free drugs are free drugs?
the guy offered me a soda pop.
I don't know anything free in America ever.
Oh, this definitely wasn't free.
Everything costs everything.
Anyway, this guy offered me a soda pop the other day to try to make amends and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't know his name, but he brought me a Pepsi cup that had Dr. Pepper in it and a shit ton of meth. The reason I know it had meth in it is because I had to go up to the hospital last night and
So what is your name?
Sean.
Your name is Sean?
Yep,
I heard people speak of you, Sean.
I wouldn't doubt it. Anyway, you know that kid Jacob? He's got a little blonde girlfriend who's pregnant.
I barely know any of these people by name, but I have heard.
Me either. That's the problem, is that the guy
You said you
who
have a YouTube channel.
I do.
So if you are filming, you want me to come out to the Sinclair fucking? It looks like a.
Well,
fucking-
it is filming, but it can't film you because it's too dark. You're sitting over here. Here, I'll show you. Let's try
I mean, you
to.
don't gotta show me, but you got a YouTube channel. What do you
It's
mainly
too
do?
dark.
This is
I
Sean.
expose
Oh, we're
bad
looking at the.
cops. Here, if I maybe from this angle I can, but over here, where you were facing me, it was just a shadow. But here, I can record you. See, I can see you now.
We're
Yep.
already filming everything anyway. I'm drinking. I got an open canister.
Kind of have to.
You might be somewhere.
Well, I don't think they're gonna come fuck with you. They don't bother with my YouTube channel. They don't give a shit. They're happy to not acknowledge it and pretend it doesn't exist. And the more they pretend it doesn't exist, less people are likely to look.
With their cameras is one, seen a person on the coast in Yachats, and I had to give him a warning because he was too busy looking at his phone and the tide was coming in. And I've only read about sneaker waves, and people will get abducted by the sea quick. Because nature, I think it takes us on because we already be sacrificed to nature. We are just a part of nature. We're not like anything special to it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
But I think we lose focus the fact that we I don't know.
We're delusional
Because
as all hell. We think we're the top of everything and everything.
We're definitely not, man.
No.
I don't know. I love like reality shit.
We
Like,
call
not on a human
those metal
scale. I
boxes
like it
progress.
like in nature type shit. When you have that feeling like you were like you were reading Jack. Who was the guy that
Robinson
wrote what?
Crusoe?
No, who wrote White Fang? I started to read his
Jack
book.
London.
I started to read his Adam book about how they said our ancestors, like not everybody lived in caves, some lived in trees, or they would scare you up in a tree. And they say like the dreams that you have of you falling, but you don't see any, was like, seeing. Depends on what you believe. I'm reading this fucking guy's Third Chimpanzee, the guy Jared Diamond. I like his Guns, Germs, and Steel, and the Collapse one. But I mean, like, to truly pay attention of just like how things progress. I mean, we might think it's all good because we haven't really. What have we really seen that's like a real tragedy?
Well, we definitely
Recently.
felt the effects this year. We had a snow that came here really unseasonably late. And now we had a really fucking dry, wet season.
I mean, I just know from being out in the elements, I know the weather's been kind of weird, but I didn't grow up in Oregon, so I don't really know like
Me neither.
how the weather patterns are supposed to be. But they can change. They can change fairly quickly,
Well, spring and part of the summer is usually the wet season here.
I mean, I think it's still fucking beautiful as fuck, though.
It is. Of course, it's a lot more brown than I remember this area when I was young. Of course, I wasn't in the river. I was on water.
I would think that would be kind of true,
Anyway, that guy who put them drugs in my drink, the reason I bring that up is because, it's one thing if somebody is okay with having it.
I wouldn't know about that. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that shit. I mean, I don't know.
Some dudes were telling me last night I should just be happy that it was free drugs. I'm like, how would you feel if they did that?
I don't know who the fuck would say that. That's some Bill Cosby shit.
Right?
That's some fucking creep shit. I'm not with any of that.
Where'd I put my fucking phone?
Your phone's right here.
I put it right next to your beer bottle.
I don't know anything about that, but I have heard your name, but I thought you were a young cat. I've only been here for like 2 days, so I don't really know everybody. But now I know who you are, Sean.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a pain in the ass, believe me.
You're a pain in the ass? Are you sure? I thought I was.
Well, I guess that depends on which side of morality you're on. I don't care what side of the law you're on. I care about your moral compass. Same with everyone else.
I think it's getting pretty good. I think it's getting a lot better. It might not have started that well. I've had some really dark thoughts back in the day. People have showed me some really dark things. And what I do learn is when I'm minding my own business, regardless if I'm sharpening this or not,
I do the same thing.
I like to stick to myself though. We live in an interesting world these days though, and I do respect it though because people are always testing you. There are, but there's a lot of devious, diabolical shit that goes on.
There is. There's a lot of people who will come and fucking steal your pudding, kick you in the face, and then play fucking wolf or cry wolf. Man, I'm the victim. My ass.
I mean, I kind of already know, but I already put myself in situations to to learn like just different elements of life, like of different people. I've been exposed to all this shit. White supremacist people, black supremacist people.
Right? You can be racist of any color. I know racists of every origin, every color,
Think,
every
a
nation.
lot of it is like, I mean, I understand why people have their animosity because you're coming out of, you know, but it would really come down to if you really came from monkeys.
We're all monkeys.
I don't know.
We're just
I
hairless
can't
apes.
tell you what the fuck really it is. I'm just glad I got less hair than other people until I'm cold.
Well,
I probably wish I had more hair.
it'll help you out in the summertime,
What, having less?
having less hair. Yeah, I used to have a friend named Ryan, and this guy was like the most incredibly gay pretty boy on the planet. And the funny thing about him is, like, from here up, he was a pretty boy,
Yeah.
but from the neck down, he was a Sasquatch. He had a sweater year round. The day I met him, he was wearing a long skirt, and he was wearing a wife beater on top, right? And I'm looking at it, and his silhouette is just the strangest thing, because he's standing under this tree. The sun is going through the trees, and it's kind of hitting his hair, so, like, the way that it was shining off of him, except on his shirt, it looked weird. Go ahead.
Well, you said you're not from here. Is there any descendants of the Donner family, or the people that came across the fucking?
Oh, Donner Pass?
Yeah. Is there any?
I don't know. I don't actually get involved in that kind of stuff. That's not even close to my interest.
I don't know. I'd like to ask him a question though. Like, who was first? Is it like the guy in like Deliverance and shit?
That's horrible. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
You're Ham Hocks.
Squeal! Yep.
No, I don't even mean like that. I mean like just to survive. Like not for your fucking, not for your pleasure.
Well, what I've been going through ain't exactly pleasurable. Seems to be people tell me they can't help, they can't help, they can't help. And then when they go through some shit, they want my help. I'm like, man, you got a different set of rules depending on who it is that it's happening to. That ain't right. That ain't equality, and that ain't we the people for goddamn sure. Well, I'm gonna head up to my vehicle. I want to make sure nobody breaks
I'd have
into
to be
it.
a Buddhist because there's not. I haven't seen a single. I mean, I'll eat some pussy. You know what I mean? I haven't really. I never used to like my steaks bloody. Period. But like, I don't know.
Oh my god, this is not turning into a clean conversation at all.
It's always dirty. The dinosaur's first. The dinosaur's first. He's not moving.
Oh, you're good. I'm headed back into town anyway. Yeah.
Oh God, what the hell?
What the hell, Bobby?
Here. Fucking turds.
I figured I'd run around and get a couple of parts I saw earlier, and then head back up to my car and check the change machines till I got enough to go up to the soda machine and get a Mountain Dew.
Goodness, man. I just tried doing that earlier, and then I was like, oh, what I got? One of these things.
On the huckleberries.
Just a
Well, I'll
fucking
give you a
Mountain Dew in a
huckleberry.
can. He's coming up.
All right. Well, y'all be
I love you
safe,
the best. You can dig a foxhole quicker than the motherfucker.
right? Sean, yes, sir. If you check my YouTube channel, that one part of the video you'll be able to see yourself, but most of it, no. All right. So we are heading back into town. Yeah, from that angle it was pretty impossible to record him because his face is right in the shadow. But from the other direction it was pretty alright. It worked out even better because, you know, he wanted to check himself out and all that like he was saying. So with a car coming around the corner, it means that he can actually see himself all lit up like a Christmas tree from the headlights. if I run around and collect all the empty water containers that are left all around town, I could use that for filler in the styrofoam for a boat. I guess it's not styrofoam, it's a spray foam or a two-part expanding epoxy. So I have the spray foam type. It's about $14 a can though, it's not cheap. But things are getting desperate. And, you know, if I have to go out eventually and just hold a sign for cans or for two-part epoxy, well, I guess I'll have to hold a sign until I have enough money to get more spray cans of foam or some two-part epoxy. It's getting to the point now where I don't see anywhere in the United States as decent. I can't. You got people who got it all handed to them by comparison with what we got to deal with. They want to tell us about how much we're taking and about how we need to do this and we need to do that. When they get injured on the job over something fucking piddly, they have help. Those of us who don't have help are screwed. What the hell is that thing? Let's see. A piece of metal of some sort. A greasy. Oh! It's hex head. Cool. Alright. It's greasy as fuck, but another tool. I don't have anything quite that big, but I'm pretty sure it'll fit on my torque wrench. I suppose I should talk for another minute or two about the guy from APS. That's Adult Protective Services, the one from here in Oregon. He said he used to be a cop, law enforcement officer. I believe he said he was a police officer. And like I said, he wants me to go to the Dalles, which is where their office is. He says there's a lot of good people down there that'll work with me. And I hope so. And I think I am going to try to get something done from here, just because familiarity is pretty important. If I go to the Dalles and I get stuck there, I might not be able to function well for a couple of days on up to maybe even a week. So it's not something I'm looking forward to. I used to open up a lot easier, but you know, with everything that's been happening, everything I've been through and all that, it's not as easy anymore. I still try to be nice with people, but I'm a bit scared of helping people because they might be a drug addict. And even if I know that they're a drug addict, I still end up helping them anyway, but I do have to have those worries. Be worried that they'll pull something like Natalie Bollinger did, or any number of the other drug addicts and drug salesmen I've had to try to get help from. Of course, it would have been nice if I had some people that were not drug dealers and drug addicts and alcoholics that I could go to. Problem is that neurotypicals, they don't see us as human beings. They think that because we're wired differently that it means our wires are crossed. They're not. The whole social conditioning thing where you guys say that we don't get social issues or social understandings and this, that, and the other. No, what we don't get is why the fuck you say one thing and do another. Why you gotta lie to yourself? How are we supposed to believe you when you can't even be honest with you? That's insanity. Makes no fucking sense. Anyway, we're back to my car now. Got the extra parts. I should have sprayed some of that deep crap on me before I went for a walk, because I am starting to get beaten up by the mosquitoes. Or eaten up. Either way is fine. I just figured I'd make it sound cool, you know, like Muhammad Ali. Fly like an eagle and sting like the thing that killed Steve Irwin or some shit like that. Yeah, I know it's fly like a fly and sting like a bee, but since it's not flies I'm dealing with, it's mosquitoes, it's kind of a arbitrary point. What the hell? Oh, some of my external batteries. Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna make one quick round because my back's hurting like a son bitch, and hopefully I can walk it off. The guy who said that he used to be a cop who works for Adult Protective Services, he was encouraging me to try to find out this guy's name and make sure it gets turned in so he doesn't do it to somebody else. And of course, until I see those guys, it's not like I'll be able to actually take a picture of him or identify him. I have been going around to different people that might know him and asking, and I don't know, I guess if I'm able to find somebody here in town who's a mutual friend, I don't know. I don't really actually have anybody here from Hood River on my friends list. Logan, he, I sent him a friend request, but he hasn't responded to it. Alright. Well, doesn't look like Logan's at work because his vehicle's not here. So, I guess I'll head back up to my vehicle and possibly fuck around with it all night. I did get in a few cat naps. Some of them were longer than others. So, of course, I don't have a regular sleep schedule to speak of, but any sleep is better than no sleep, sort of. Some of it, like you end up waking up not feeling refreshed. That's one of the things about taking something like Lunesta or Ambien. If I take those, I have nightmares and I can't wake up. And of course, I know I'm in a dream and I'm stuck in a dream, and because it's Ambien or Lunesta, I'm stuck in the dream. I can't get out of it. And some other people I know have the same reaction to them. Sleeping pills just, well, give us nightmares. It's supposed to not do that. But I know of at least 3 people, myself and Miss Jerry and a lady named Candace. All 3 of us have that very same issue with it. And there's other people too. I just obviously can't remember every single person that's ever told me that. I know that the cancer thing is absolutely spectacular. I don't mean like in an exciting woohoo, that's great way, but in a way that's oddly strange. Like a lot of these people who promised to help me that magically couldn't. Well, one of their excuses is magically they all ended up with cancer, but none of them are fucking dying. None of them are dying of cancer, but apparently everybody's got fucking cancer. So with that guy from Adult Protective Services telling me to go to the Dalles and try to turn it in, I guess I'll have to give them the names and numbers of a bunch of people who claim to have cancer. And maybe they'll produce some evidence that they're telling the truth so they don't end up with charges. Alright, so yeah. Nothing else for me to do but go back to the park and ride. Good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. And remember, you are your brother's keeper. No victim left behind.